Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back. I just settled down with my deck, and I have to say, the energy coming through for Virgo right now is absolutely fascinating. I've been sitting with these cards for a bit, and there's something really profound happening around how you're meant to navigate your financial decisions moving forward. Not through logic alone, which I know might sound strange for Virgo energy, but through this incredible intuitive guidance that's actually been trying to get your attention. So I pulled 10 cards for this reading, and I want to take you through each one really carefully because the story they're telling is so layered and honestly quite beautiful. This isn't about predicting exact dollar amounts or specific dates. It's about understanding the energetic framework that's going to support your financial growth in a really sustainable way. Let me start by saying that if you've been feeling torn between what makes logical sense financially and what your gut is telling you, this reading is going to bring so much clarity. The universe has been sending you signals, and I think some of you have been second-guessing them because they don't fit the traditional financial advice you've heard. But here's what I'm seeing in these cards. All right, let me just shuffle and pull the first card. Okay, this is interesting. The first card that came through is the Queen of Wands, and honestly, this makes so much sense for what Virgo needs to hear right now about financial intuition. The Queen of Wands is sitting here, and she represents this incredible confidence in your own vision. What's coming through is that your intuition around money isn't going to sound like a whisper. It's going to feel like a knowing. You know that feeling when you just know something is right even though you can't explain why? That's the energy that wants to guide your financial choices moving forward. But here's what's really interesting about the Queen of Wands in this position. She's not reckless. She's actually incredibly strategic. But her strategy comes from an internal compass rather than external validation. For Virgo, who naturally wants to analyze and plan everything, this is asking you to trust that your body knows things before your mind catches up. Have you noticed how sometimes you get this feeling in your chest or your stomach about a financial opportunity? Maybe it's excitement or maybe it's this subtle contraction. The Queen of Wands is saying, that's your intuition speaking in its clearest voice. I'm seeing that some of you have dismissed really good financial opportunities because they didn't check all the logical boxes. Maybe it was an investment that seemed unconventional, or a career move that felt right, but looked risky on paper. The Queen of Wands energy is here to tell you that your intuitive hits about money are actually more reliable than you've been giving them credit for. She sits on her throne with complete certainty, and that's the energy that's available to you now. What I love about this card is that it's also about creative financial solutions. Your intuition might guide you toward making money in ways that feel uniquely suited to who you are, not just following the standard path everyone else takes. This could be about monetizing a skill you didn't think was valuable, or seeing an opportunity that others overlook because you're tuned into a different frequency. The Queen of Wands trusts her vision completely, and she's inviting you to do the same with your financial intuition. There's also something here about the energy you bring to financial decisions. When you're connected to this intuitive queen energy, you attract different opportunities. People can feel when someone is operating from authentic knowing versus fear or desperation. Your intuition helps you show up to financial discussions and decisions with this magnetic confidence that actually opens doors. It's not about faking it. It's about trusting what you genuinely sense is right for you. The second card I pulled is the Knight of Cups, and this is adding such a beautiful dimension to this reading about financial intuition. Where the Queen of Wands was about confident knowing, the Knight of Cups is about emotional intelligence in your money decisions. Here's what's coming through really strongly. Your intuition about finances isn't just mental. It's deeply connected to your emotional state and your ability to read the emotional undercurrents in any financial situation. The Knight of Cups rides in with this offer, this invitation, and he's asking you to pay attention to how things feel, not just how they look on a spreadsheet. I'm seeing that some of you are going to receive financial opportunities that appeal to your heart, not just your wallet. Maybe it's work that feels meaningful or an investment in something you genuinely care about. Your intuition is going to guide you toward financial choices that align with your values, and the Knight of Cups is saying don't dismiss that as being impractical. There's actually a different kind of wealth that comes from following your heart in financial matters. And I'm not talking about sacrificing money. I'm talking about attracting it through alignment. What's really interesting about the Knight of Cups in this reading is that he represents offers and proposals. Your intuition is going to help you discern which financial opportunities are genuine and which ones just look good on the surface. You know how sometimes someone presents a business proposal or investment opportunity and something just feels off even though you can't point to anything specific? That's the Knight of Cups energy helping you read between the lines. He's emotionally perceptive and he can sense when something isn't quite right. But there's another layer here. The Knight of Cups is also about being the one who makes the offer. Your intuition might guide you to approach financial situations with more emotional openness than you usually would. Maybe that means having a vulnerable conversation about money, or putting yourself out there with a creative project, even though you can't guarantee the outcome. The Knight is brave enough to follow his heart, and your intuition is asking you to bring that same courage to your financial life. I'm also seeing that your intuition might guide you toward financial decisions that nurture your soul in some way. This could be investing in your own growth, spending money on experiences that feed you emotionally, or choosing work that pays you in more than just money. The Knight of Cups doesn't separate material success from emotional fulfillment. He seeks both, and your intuitive guidance is going to help you find that balance. The third card is Five of Swords, and okay, this is where the reading gets really honest. This card is showing me that part of why you might struggle to trust your financial intuition is because you've been burned before, or you've watched others make intuitive leaps that didn't work out. The Five of Swords represents conflict, defeat, or those moments when you feel like you made the wrong choice. What's coming through is that your logical Virgo mind has been using past mistakes as evidence that you can't trust your gut about money. Maybe you made an intuitive financial decision once that didn't pan out, or someone convinced you to ignore your instincts and it went badly. Either way, there's been this battle between your intuition and your analytical side, and frankly, the analytical side has been winning. But here's what the Five of Swords is actually trying to show you. Those experiences weren't proof that your intuition was wrong. They were lessons in learning to distinguish between genuine intuitive guidance and fear masquerading as intuition. Sometimes what we think is our gut telling us something is actually our anxiety or our ego. The Five of Swords is here to help you recognize the difference. I'm seeing that you need to make peace with the fact that not every intuitive financial choice is going to work out perfectly, and that's okay. The Five of Swords teaches that sometimes we lose battles but learn valuable information that helps us win the war. Your financial intuition is being refined through experience. Each time you follow a hunch and it doesn't go as planned, you're actually getting better at reading the signals, not worse at trusting them. There's also something here about letting go of the need to prove yourself right. Sometimes your intuition might guide you away from a financial opportunity that looked amazing on paper, and later you might not have concrete proof that you made the right choice. The Five of Swords is asking you to be okay with that uncertainty. You don't always get to see the disaster you avoided or the better thing that came because you said no to the wrong thing. What I'm also picking up is that some of you have been in financial conflicts with others. Disagreements about money where your intuition said one thing, but someone else insisted on something different. The Five of Swords is showing that you need to trust your own financial instincts even when others don't understand or agree with them. This doesn't mean being stubborn. It means having the courage to follow your own path even when it looks different from what others would choose. The fourth card is Seven of Pentacles, and this is such an important card for understanding how intuition works in financial matters. The Seven of Pentacles is about patience, assessment, and waiting for things to grow. This is telling me that your financial intuition isn't going to give you instant results, and that's actually by design. What's coming through really clearly is that intuitive financial guidance often leads you towards slower, more sustainable growth rather than quick wins. Your gut might guide you to plant seeds that take time to develop, to invest in things that won't pay off immediately, to build something gradually rather than looking for shortcuts. And I know for Virgo, who wants to see tangible progress, this can be really challenging. The Seven of Pentacles shows a figure pausing to look at what they've cultivated. Your intuition is going to ask you to regularly check in and assess whether you're still on the right path financially. This isn't about second-guessing every decision. It's about staying connected to that internal guidance system and making adjustments as needed. Sometimes what felt right 6 months ago needs to shift. And your intuition will tell you that if you're listening. I'm seeing that some of you have been working really hard financially, but not seeing the results you expected. And you're wondering if you should trust your gut or try something completely different. The Seven of Pentacles is saying that sometimes the lag between planting and harvesting is just part of the process. Your intuition might be guiding you correctly, but the manifestation takes time. The key is learning to sense whether you're in a growth phase that requires patience or whether you need to pivot. There's also wisdom here about not harvesting too early. Sometimes your intuition will tell you to wait even when you could technically take action. Maybe that means not cashing out an investment yet, not leaving a job quite yet, not launching something until the timing feels right. The Seven of Pentacles understands that timing is everything in growth, and your financial intuition is deeply connected to divine timing. What I love about this card is that it validates the work you've already done. Your intuition has been guiding you all along, even in small daily choices about money. Those seeds are growing. The Seven of Pentacles is asking you to trust that your intuitive financial decisions are bearing fruit, even if you can't see the full harvest yet. The fifth card is Seven of Swords and interesting. This is the second seven we've seen. Seven energy is about reflection, assessment, and sometimes about deception or strategy. The Seven of Swords specifically is showing me that your financial intuition is going to help you navigate situations where not everything is as it appears. This card often represents someone sneaking away with swords. And in the context of financial intuition, it's telling me that your gut is going to alert you to situations where something feels sneaky or off. Maybe it's a business deal where the numbers look good but something doesn't sit right, or a financial advisor who seems knowledgeable but your intuition is waving red flags. The Seven of Swords is your internal alarm system for potential financial deception, but there's another layer to this card that's really important. Sometimes the Seven of Swords is about your own strategy and cunning. Your intuition might guide you to be more strategic about your finances than you have been. Maybe that means being less open about your financial plans, or taking a more calculated approach to negotiations, or protecting your resources in ways that others might not understand. The Seven of Swords isn't about being dishonest. It's about being smart and strategic. I'm seeing that some of you have been too trusting financially, maybe sharing too much information or assuming everyone has good intentions. Your intuition is sharpening right now, and it's going to help you be more discerning about who you trust with financial matters. This doesn't mean becoming paranoid. It means developing healthy boundaries around money. What's also coming through is that your intuition might guide you to take unconventional approaches to financial matters that you wouldn't normally consider. The Seven of Swords is a little bit rebellious, a little bit clever. Maybe your gut tells you to negotiate in a way that breaks traditional rules, or to structure a deal differently than expected. Trust that creative financial intelligence that's developing. There's something here, too, about reclaiming what's yours. The Seven of Swords can represent taking back your power or your resources. Your intuition might guide you to recover money that's owed to you, or to stop letting others take advantage of your generosity, or to claim the financial value you deserve. Listen to that inner voice that says enough is enough. The sixth card is Queen of Cups, and wow, this is such a beautiful complement to the emotional intelligence we saw in the Knight of Cups earlier. The Queen of Cups is the absolute master of emotional and intuitive knowing, and her presence in this reading is incredibly significant for your financial journey. The Queen of Cups sits with her ornate cup, completely at ease with the depths of intuition and emotion. What's coming through is that your financial intuition is actually one of your greatest assets, possibly more valuable than any financial strategy or advice you could receive from others. She's telling you that you have access to deep knowing about money that goes beyond logic or conventional wisdom. This queen represents someone who trusts their feelings completely. And in the context of finances, she's showing me that you need to honor your emotional responses to financial situations. When something makes you feel anxious, that's information. When something makes you feel expansive and excited, that's also information. The Queen of Cups doesn't override her feelings with logic. She uses them as her primary guidance system. I'm seeing that some of you have been trying to separate emotions from financial decisions, thinking that being objective means ignoring how you feel. But the Queen of Cups is showing that your emotions are actually data. They're picking up on subtle energies and information that your conscious mind hasn't processed yet. That gut feeling about an investment? That's not irrational. It's sophisticated emotional intelligence at work. What's really beautiful about the Queen of Cups is that she's also deeply compassionate and nurturing. Your financial intuition is going to guide you toward choices that take care of your well-being and the well-being of others. This isn't about being impractical with money. It's about understanding that true wealth includes emotional and spiritual richness. Your gut might guide you to be generous in ways that feel financially illogical but turn out to create unexpected returns. There's also something here about healing your relationship with money through intuitive guidance. The Queen of Cups is a healer, and she's showing that as you learn to trust your financial intuition, you're actually healing old wounds around worthiness and scarcity. Each time you honor your gut feeling about money, you're telling yourself that you're worthy of trusting. That's powerful medicine. I'm also picking up that the Queen of Cups energy might manifest as actual people in your life who guide you financially through their intuitive wisdom. Maybe it's someone who gives you advice that doesn't make logical sense but feels deeply right, or someone who models a different relationship with money that appeals to you on a soul level. Pay attention to these intuitive guides who appear. The seventh card is the Lovers, and this is fascinating in a reading about financial intuition. The Lovers card is about choice, alignment, and partnership, and it's showing me that your financial intuition is going to help you make choices that align with your deepest values. The Lovers represents a crossroads, a decision point where you have to choose between different paths. In the context of financial intuition, this card is saying that you're going to face financial choices where logic alone won't give you the answer. You'll need to tune into what feels aligned with who you are and what you value most. Your intuition is the bridge between your head and your heart in these decisions. What's coming through really strongly is that your financial choices are intimately connected to your relationships and partnerships. The Lovers is showing me that your gut might guide you toward financial collaborations, business partnerships, or joint ventures that feel right on an intuitive level. Sometimes the best financial decisions are made because of WHO you're working with, not just the numbers involved. Your intuition can sense when there's genuine alignment with another person or opportunity. I'm also seeing that the Lovers is about integration and harmony. Your financial intuition is going to help you integrate seemingly opposing forces in your money life. Maybe that's balancing security with risk, or practicality with passion, or short-term needs with long-term vision. The Lovers shows that you don't have to choose one or the other. You can find a third way that honors both through intuitive guidance. There's something here about your financial choices reflecting your self-love and self-worth. The Lovers at its deepest level is about loving yourself enough to choose what's truly best for you. Your intuition is going to guide you away from financial situations that diminish you or require you to compromise your values, and toward opportunities that honor who you are. This is about financial choices that make you feel more like yourself, not less. What's also significant is that the Lovers is ruled by Gemini energy, which is about information and communication. Your financial intuition might come through as ideas, conversations, or sudden insights. Pay attention to what people say to you about money, not just the literal words, but the deeper message your intuition picks up on. Sometimes the universe sends guidance through other people's mouths. The eighth card is Four of Wands, and this is bringing such positive, celebratory energy to the reading about your financial intuition. The Four of Wands represents stability, celebration, and the foundation you've built. This is telling me that trusting your financial intuition is going to lead to genuine stability and reasons to celebrate. What's coming through is that your intuition is guiding you toward financial decisions that create lasting security, not just temporary wins. The Four of Wands is about building something solid, creating a foundation that will support you long-term. Your gut knows the difference between opportunities that look flashy but are unstable versus choices that might seem more modest but create real security. Trust that knowing. I'm seeing that some of you are going to experience breakthrough moments where your financial intuition leads to tangible positive results that feel worth celebrating. Maybe it's finally achieving a financial goal you've been working toward, or receiving recognition for your work, or reaching a level of stability that allows you to relax a bit. The Four of Wands is saying that following your intuitive guidance in financial matters works, and you're going to see the evidence of that. There's also something beautiful here about community and support. The Four of Wands often represents coming together in celebration, and in the context of finances, this might mean that your intuition guides you toward collaborative financial opportunities or into communities that support your financial growth. Maybe it's a mastermind group, a business collective, or just finding your people who understand your approach to money. Your intuition will lead you to the right connections. What I love about this card is the sense of harmony it brings. The Four of Wands shows four wands standing firm with garlands connecting them, creating this beautiful structure. Your financial intuition is going to help you create harmony between different aspects of your financial life. Maybe that's balancing multiple income streams, or finding work that feeds both your bank account and your soul, or creating a lifestyle where money supports rather than controls you. I'm also picking up that the Four of Wands represents reaching a milestone that you've been working toward for a while. Your intuition has been guiding you steadily toward this point even when you didn't fully trust it. This card is confirming that you're on the right path and that continuing to follow your gut about money is going to lead to more stability and celebration in the future. The ninth card is Two of Swords, and this is showing me the challenge you face in trusting your financial intuition. The Two of Swords depicts someone blindfolded, holding two swords in perfect balance, unable or unwilling to make a choice. This is the energy of being stuck between options, of overthinking instead of feeling your way forward. What's coming through is that sometimes your financial intuition gives you a clear message, but your mind gets in the way with endless analysis and pros and cons lists. The Two of Swords is showing that you can become paralyzed by trying to make the perfect logical decision, when what you really need to do is remove the blindfold and trust what you see, or in this case, what you feel. I'm seeing that some of you are currently in a state of financial indecision. Maybe you're torn between two opportunities, or you're unsure whether to make a change or stay where you are, or you're stuck analyzing every possible outcome before taking action. The Two of Swords is saying that at some point you have to trust your gut and make a move, even without perfect information. Your intuition can guide you when logic reaches its limits. But here's what's interesting about this card. The Two of Swords also represents the need for internal stillness before making a decision. Sometimes what looks like being stuck is actually necessary processing time. Your intuition might be asking you to wait, to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, to let things become clear in their own time. The key is distinguishing between productive waiting and fear-based paralysis. What's also coming through is that the Two of Swords represents defensive energy. Maybe you've been so hurt by past financial mistakes that you're protecting yourself by not making any decisions at all. Or maybe you're keeping your financial options perfectly balanced because you're afraid of choosing wrong. Your intuition is asking you to take down those defensive swords and be willing to move forward even with some uncertainty. I'm also seeing that the Two of Swords can represent denial or avoiding seeing the full truth of a financial situation. Your intuition might be trying to show you something about your finances that you don't want to acknowledge. Maybe it's that a situation isn't working, or that you need to make a change, or that something you've been hoping for isn't going to materialize. The Two of Swords asks you to remove the blindfold and see clearly, even when the truth is uncomfortable. The 10th and final card is the Hanged Man, and honestly, this is such a perfect card to end this reading on. The Hanged Man represents surrender, a completely different perspective, and the wisdom that comes from letting go of control. In the context of financial intuition, this is profound. What's coming through is that true financial intuition requires you to surrender your need to control outcomes through logic and planning. The Hanged Man hangs upside down, seeing the world from a totally different angle, and he's peaceful about it. He's not struggling, he's not trying to flip himself right side up. He's surrendering to this different way of being. That's what your financial intuition is asking of you. I'm seeing that some of you are being called to completely shift your perspective on money and how financial decisions should be made. Everything you thought you knew about building wealth or making smart financial choices might need to be turned upside down. The Hanged Man is showing that your intuitive approach to finances might look backwards or illogical to others, and that's okay. Sometimes the unconventional path is exactly right. There's something here about sacrifice and what you're willing to give up to follow your financial intuition. The Hanged Man suggests that trusting your gut might mean letting go of certain conventional paths or expectations. Maybe it's leaving a secure job that your intuition says isn't right, or walking away from a financial opportunity that looks great on paper but feels wrong, or choosing a lifestyle that prioritizes freedom over accumulation. Your intuition knows what's truly valuable to you. What's really beautiful about the Hanged Man is that he represents enlightenment that comes through surrender. When you stop trying to force financial outcomes through sheer willpower and logic, when you surrender to the flow of intuitive guidance, that's when miracles happen. The Hanged Man is suspended, but he's also held, supported by something greater than himself. Your financial intuition is connected to that greater wisdom. I'm also picking up that the Hanged Man represents a period of waiting that's actually productive. Maybe you're in a financial situation right now where you can't take action, where you have to hang in suspension for a while. Your intuition is telling you that this pause is necessary, that there's wisdom being downloaded during this waiting period. The Hanged Man sees what others can't see because he has time and space to perceive differently. The final message of the Hanged Man is about trust in the most profound sense. It's about trusting that your financial intuition is connected to divine guidance, that when you follow your gut even without knowing the outcome, you're being supported by forces beyond your understanding. The Hanged Man has faith, and that's what your financial journey is asking you to develop. So Virgo, let me bring all of this together for you. Your financial intuition is this incredible gift that's been trying to guide you all along. The cards are showing that you have access to deep knowing about money that goes beyond spreadsheets and 5-year plans. Your gut, your emotions, your body, they're all picking up information that can guide you to financial choices that are not only profitable but aligned with who you really are. The journey is about learning to trust that intuitive voice even when it contradicts logic or conventional wisdom. It's about honoring your emotional responses to financial situations, paying attention to what feels right in your body, and being willing to wait for clear guidance rather than forcing decisions. Your intuition knows the difference between opportunities that serve you and ones that just look good on the surface. What I'm seeing is that as you learn to trust your financial intuition more, you're going to experience greater stability and celebration. Yes, there will be moments of uncertainty, and yes, you'll have to learn to distinguish between fear and genuine intuitive guidance. But the Queen of Wands energy that came through first is showing you that confident, intuitive financial wisdom is your natural state. You just have to give yourself permission to access it. Trust the knowing that comes from within. Trust that sometimes the best financial decision is the one that makes your soul say yes, even when your mind wants more proof. Your intuition is sophisticated, intelligent, and deeply connected to what will truly serve your highest good. The more you honor it, the more clearly it will speak to you, and the more abundance will flow in ways that feel aligned and authentic. I hope this reading gave you permission to trust yourself more deeply in financial matters. You've got this.